Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Maybe it's a good evening where you are. Another good day. Hope you're well. You know, I'm wearing this really nice Wall Street looking, esque shirt because where I am in the planet today, we've got this like UV indexing, and you know what? We could get into that. That's a discussion. What the heck? You know, the ozone, chemical alterations, the impact of the sun on us in the beneficial sense, and then on the negative side too, because we have to be really cautious and careful at certain points and times how much sun we get and exposure. So I sense it usually, and I know when I can groove in it, and then I also know when I have to be very cautious and aware. And I was feeling the rays this morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to Wall Street. It's collared shirt time because I'm going to protect those arms, and I'm going to be conscious of how much time I'm spending in the sun. But on the other side, there were some benefits because I'm going to do my morning fruit bowl with you, and what's going to go on today with that. And as I've said in other videos, it depends on the day. What do I got going? So what did I do? But I got a berry bowl action today, and I let these guys just sit there in the sun. Don't like the plastic. Nope, we know. And now my berries and my fruit, I got my pear, bam, is all warmed, and that's just my personal favorite preference. So let's get going on the morning berry bowl. Now, I already had my apple, so you can tell I'm already in the motions of the day, but this is going to be my main jam. So I'm going to take my whole strawberry, these have been washed, and I'm just going to cut it in half, just as so, and then I'm going to cut it into fours, and then I'm just going to kind of slop shop as I always do. Now, I am leaving the green veggie top action on my strawberry. Some of these I'm going to have to shave because I already see, you get some bad spots sometimes. But that top green, that's where it's at. That's going to totally be going down with my strawberry town. I remember when I didn't know better, just like many of us, we would cut off the top there to the strawberry, and you couldn't give more of an injustice to these little fellas. You gotta ride with those. So I'm just gonna give a little foundation here, a little slimy, because they're all warmed up. So this is nice. Cutting fruit in the sun. If things went down in the negative, I have lived my life fully. I'm cutting fruit in the sun. I don't have anything else that I'd request in my time here. This is looking like a shiny celebration. I can't believe, it's so funny when you have the ability, obviously, to get your fruits and vegetables locally or from your own garden. You have perfection. You're picking it, and within a few hours, you're eating it. But when you're relying on others to supply you with these whole fresh foods, it is a time frame game, and you are going to be losing some of that nutrition and that absorbable levels of benefit. That's just how it's going down. So, unfortunately, strawberries, I love them, and I want them. See, this got to go to the birds, because some of these, this is what I'm talking about. Well, it's not going to waste. All right. So, a lot of times they're picked prematurely, and sometimes they're picked past their time, and by the time they get to you, they're already rotting out. So it is always a little jumbling act, and you really got to know what you're doing. And you got to go through your berries with a eagle eye, because a lot of times you will get those berries and you'll come home, and then the next day you'll go to eat them and they are already rotting, and you're like, that's such a waste. And it's so sad because so many people are going without food in this planet, and it's such a disgrace because God, Jah, universal energy source, however you word it or believe in it, we have the ability to feed all with just this very much in my moment, because everything has been given to us from the ground growing up. Everything's rooted into this planet, and it really is there for us to keep an optimal, nutritious, grounded, balanced existence, which would in turn allow us to treat each other a lot better. Because if we were all as a human species eating from the land as the intended plan was, we went rogue from the plan. It was like God was like, yep, here's the road, and you just go down over the hill and you take a left, and we're like, yeah, we're going in the valley and turning right. And then we end up in a ditch. So we're in the ditch, and the ditch is factory farming, the ditch is pharmaceuticals, the ditch is polluted water, and again, on and on and on with that, but I won't go in that direction. I'll talk about the positive aspect. The positive aspect is we are given all of these whole fresh foods right from the ground, and in a proper organic environment, it is going to be giving us optimal health and nutrition. So, messing that one up. But it's not us, you and I here today together. It isn't us, but the powers to be and their selfish greed and egos are really impacting the ability to feed the planet properly. We're doing massive chemical agricultural philosophies that are stretching across the planet because of these corporations. And it is, as we know, taken away from the topsoil capacity, near extinction, and it has prevented the relationship of man to his proper channels of viability and longevity and connection. Because if we had that connection and allowed to live off of the land, we wouldn't be so aggro, and we wouldn't be aggressively having conflict and judging one another and causing divides. We'd be like, oh, you grew that melon? Well, I grew this pineapple. Check it out. And we'd be exchanging and working together. All right, so the next move I got going on is some blueberries. Now, I washed and I went through all these, but this is important. When you get blueberries, again, from the store, I want you to always look through all the blueberries and turn them around, because sometimes the blueberry looks fine, but on the end there, on the little bottom nubber, you'll get a little part of mold forming. And that little bit, that can sometimes get you sick. And it depends how sensitive you are or where you're at and how it can affect you. But you know what? It's not good to bring into you anyway. So always check that out. And on the technicality, you could cut the blueberry in half, cautiously, and get rid of that end piece. Or you could always share with the birds, the squirrels, and the chipmunks. So I got my strawberries, my blueberries. Now I'm going to go with a little sea kelp and dulce. I really am a big advocate of this one. About 2 large pinches. Bam. Then I'm going to bring in some shredded coconut, because that is my favorite little topping action every day. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's like once I begin, there's no going back. Then I'm going to do some chia seed, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit. I'm going to say, for me personally, my experience, I'm going to be less than like a tablespoon, just by eye. Now I'm going to bring in the, what is this? Oh my gosh, it's a pear. I'm going to bring in pear, and this is exactly ready. Nice, sweet. Oh, let's check on that seed seam. Lately, yep, it's so weird. Lately I've been, I don't know if Monsanto's getting in on it, but lately I haven't been getting seeds from my pear. So I'm like a little concerned. It's funny because like last year I was already getting seeds out of my pear, no problem. And this season I've noticed, and of course, you know, we're doing organic, non-GMO, whatever, I'm just not getting those seeds. So I don't know what is going on with that. But something's going on. I feel like I'm in an oven in a way, because I'm in the middle of this field and the sun's just like, yo, I'm baking ya. I'm like, well, through my shirt you are. Kiwi. This is a golden kiwi. I find them to be a bit sweeter, and I almost say creamier. So I'm just going to cut this in the center here, and I'm going to dice it. And it's so funny because as I'm cutting this and feeling this and doing this, it's like, wow, this fruit is warm. You can't get better than this. Yeah, golden kiwis, they are a treat, I'll tell you. Look at this so far. I don't even think yeah, everything's topped. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? That's where it's at. And now I'm just going to top it with some banana. I roll with 2 bananas a day, 1 to 2 apples a day, and pretty much 2 bananas a day. That's just how that unfolds. Nice. So that is the morning fruit bowl. I cannot put it any better than I have. And what I really want you guys to see and understand is just the simplicity. You know, we're just going to take some fruit from the kitchen, and we're going to listen to who's ready for us, and we're going to cut it up, and we're going to put it in a beautiful bowl or plate, and you can get really funky and crazy, and I do like to squeeze some citrus over that, and sometimes I like to drizzle brown rice syrup over this. You can definitely bring in perhaps molasses or maple syrup, depending where you stand. And then you're ready to go. That's it. That's all it takes all day. You deal with this and it's over with. And then the rest of the day is whatever it has to be and whatever you have to do. So you're not focusing on energy levels or clarity or ability. And food stops, like, oh, I gotta have lunch at 12 o'clock. Those days are over when you eat the fruit. You just gotta get your fruit in. You don't even have to. I've done water just fine, but ideally you just get that fruit in the morning. And the rest of the day is gonna unfold like magic. So I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day and incorporate some fruit. And if you haven't tried an all-fruit day, I would always suggest that as a nice little change in your life and to see the impact that it has, because fruit will always heal you and it will always make you feel good, and it will always push you to be better. You know, it might take a little time, but the fruit's talking. So thank you for joining me always, and I hope you keep it cool and light. Positive vibrations. Fish, they're coming to MSJ. Summer 2017. Baker's Dozen. Peace.